What up, Ho Biscuits? It's your girl Skitten, back at it again. Just checking in on y'all. Quarantine's getting a little cray-cray. My mayor basically said that she wants Las Vegas to be a control ground, basically she's like, just open everything up and we'll just see how many people die. We'll just see what happens. Who knows what'll happen. So now me and Dr. Take Your Mom on a Date are contemplating telling people that we're from somewhere other than here because the shame. Hope your guys' quarantine is going okay. I know Georgia is like opening up on Friday, which I think is a little nutso, but we'll see what happens. You know what? They can be the control ground. See, there you go. Teamwork makes the dream work. But actually though, seriously guys, stay inside. Please make sure you're staying safe, wearing the necessary protective gear, and stay your ass at home. And to help you guys with that, I am here to watch a video about obvious facts that'll make you feel stupid. There's 1,001 obvious facts that I've realized over the past couple weeks, but the only one that I can remember is one that I just figured out like a year ago, which is that, okay, so you know how there's the word mishap, right? And then you know how there's the word misshapen. Well, you rarely ever hear people use the word misshapen, but you read it. And so, you know, when I read the word misshapen, I always said mishappen. Like in my head, you know, like when you read stuff and like you say it in your head. So in my head, it was mishappen. So like mishappen head, mishappen face, mishappen donut, mishappen. And I didn't figure out until last year that it was misshapen. There's a lot of shame going around today, okay? And I don't need your guys' judgment, so I'm gonna play the video, okay? I'm just gonna play the video. 3, 2, 1, play.
Little known but obvious fact that will immediately make all of us feel stupid. Words that are spelled the same but pronounced with emphasis on different syllables is actually indicative of the part of speech it is. Stress on the first syllable is a noun.
Okay.
Stress on the last syllable is a verb. Examples.
Okay.
Contract and contract. The
Oh,
former
yeah,
is a
that
noun.
makes sense.
Sign this contract, whereas the latter is a verb. The muscles contract. Same with record.
It's funny because he's just saying it like the same. So it's funny.
Dress. Impact. Object. And a few others.
That makes a lot of fucking sense.
Oh wow, I've never really paid attention to this. This is so interesting. Cats, dogs, and other similar animals can't see directly below their faces because their snout gets in the way. That's why you have to point out the treat a million times. They're not stupid. The damn thing is just in their blind spot. Horses too. They have another blind spot behind their tail.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
The word set has most amount of definitions in a single word. A set of sets are set upon a tea set offered to set as the sun set. Factoids have a second definition. A false fact that is generally accepted as the truth. Antisocial means that you are hostile or harmful to organized society, as in being or marked by behavior deviating sharply from the social norm.
Okay.
Asocial is rejecting or lacking the capacity for social interaction.
Oh, so should we stop using the term antisocial?
The words laser and scuba are actually acronyms and they stand for laser light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation.
Okay.
Scuba self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
That makes a lot of fucking sense.
Taser is 1-2. Thomas A. Swift's electric rifle.
Is that one real?
Everyone has seen shows or movies about traveling circuses, mainly in the 1930s or 1940s. During the Depression, running away to join the circus was a semi-reasonable option. Many people scoff at the Florida law you must feed the meter where you park your elephant. Those circuses had a travel season that heavily relied on summer and warmer months.
Okay.
They would spend the winter in Florida until the next travel season.
That's funny.
Ours even had an entire season about this. In 1979, my 42-year-old neighbor divorced his wife and ran off to the circus. He immortalized this in the divorce papers. Reason: wife won't join the circus with me.
Oh.
He cared for the elephants.
That's cute.
Covered bridges are designed with roofs to protect and preserve the wooden structure from the elements. Without the cover they'd last about 20 years. With the cover they can last up to 100. They're not built that way just to look charming. They were built with walls to keep horses from freaking out pulling buggies over water and ravines. The roofs were added to finish them off and keep the expensive and important wooden structure dry.
Okay.
The word helicopter has two components. They aren't heli and copter. They are helico and ter. Helico, helix, and ter, wing.
Oh, like in pterodactyl.
Like pterodactyl. So my quest to invent the timecopter is a load of nonsense. Thanks. I'm not inventing the timeter. That's just silly. Like an archaeologist. My life is in ruins.
Like an archaeologist, my life. Oh my god. I like that. I'm about to text that to somebody right meow.
Didn't arrive in Europe until the 16th century. It's so ubiquitous. You'd think it would have been a part of English culture since 10,000 BC. Likewise, tomatoes in Italy.
Right.
Chilies and peanuts.
I'm pretty sure
India.
we had all of those.
My favorite thing to tell people. Penguins swim faster than Michael Phelps. Remember that Discovery special that pitted a shark against him to see who was faster? Completely stupid. Because even shark food swims faster than he does. Sharks eat penguins. To clarify.
I didn't know sharks ate penguins. But also, when was this and why did it happen?
When extracting organs for donating, doctors need to keep the body alive.
I do know this from watching Grey's Anatomy.
Through machines. But they need to keep the blood pumping. Edit. Since this blew up, I do want to clarify that, as mentioned in the comments, some organs can be harvested after death, but main organs like heart and lung need to be receiving oxygen. I found out not too long ago that when someone gets a kidney transplant, they don't take the old kidney out. They just implant the new one in the recipient's body cavity.
What?
911 operators have no ducking clue where you are instantly unless you're on a landline. You have to say where you are. It's not our fault movies made you think we have a spy level video of you in your car.
Makes sense.
Know your location. I was on a rural stretch of Canadian highway and came upon a bad accident with injuries and a car on its roof. There was no mobile service, so I drove until I got a signal to call an ambulance, but when I got through I had no safe space to pull over and lost the signal before giving all the details. When I got signal back I had the most amusing message on my voicemail. Hi, this is Andrew from Emergency Services. If you can give me a call back, my number is 911. So I called back and the best description I could give: going west, a big curve after the park, approx this many clicks from this town.
God.
They found it no problem. Sometimes it's a matter of being specific enough. Tear ducts drain tears. They don't produce them. Drain them to where? Also, what produces them? It was
I was gonna say, so you're just gonna say that but not follow up, give us any more information?
Mentioned that Humpty Dumpty was an egg.
Stop saying this because it makes me upset.
Why were the horses trying to reassemble Humpty Dumpty? The and thou were actually the informal forms. The King James Bible used them so that the relationship with God would seem more personal.
Oh.
There's also no such thing as ye, meaning the. It's the but spelled with an archaic letter that signifies the sound.
I did learn that in my linguistics class that I took God knows how many years ago now.
As that letter, thorn, disappeared from the English language, people would replace it in writing with a Y because it can look like a small thorn, depending on your handwriting and the instrument you use to write. So ye old X is actually the old X. The letter is not supposed to be a Y.
Right.
Pufferfish are filled with water, not air.
Oh.
It wouldn't even make sense. Yet a lot of people are like,
that
what?
actually does make a lot of fucking sense.
But pufferfish actually can and do fill themselves with air when on land. Around 70% of all car accidents happen within 10 miles of your home, because over 70% of your driving is within 10 miles of your home.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's a statistic driving teachers love to toss out there, that most accidents happen close to your home. But if you think about it, most of your driving is close to your home. Even if you drive 20 miles to work, 50% of your driving will take place 10 miles from your home. The average commute is around 15 miles. and most people shop close to home. So it's really common sense that the majority of your driving will take place in that 10-mile radius, even if you travel further for work or other activities.
Right.
Why is everyone having all these car accidents next to my house? You don't actually bite down. You bite up because of your lower jaw. I hate you for making me painfully self-aware of this.
That makes sense.
The plural version of cul-de-sac is cul-de-sac.
Yes. Yes, it is. Because, like, in French, like, it's cul-de-sac, right? Like, if French word. And de sac is, like, the descriptor. So, yeah, it makes sense.
The Terminator didn't need a heads-up display in his visual system. His system already had access to all of that information anyway. Otherwise, how could it display it? Redisplaying it in a form that would then have to be visually interpreted would be a complete waste of time.
Is this the part where I admit that I've never seen the Terminator all the way through? But I know the whole "I'll be back."
You'll act like you haven't had to debug something before. Well, the machines designed the Terminator. You say? The Terminators were all slow, inefficient, and ineffectual. Not only did the machines neglect to delete redundant debug visual interface, they didn't even bother to disable it before release. Elephants have some of the closest looking breasts to humans besides primates, of course. 2 of them. You just kind of look at female elephants in the context you usually see them and whoop. There it is, and you can't unsee it ever again.
I don't want to see it. I don't need to see elephant titty. Elephant titty does not need to come across my retinas. No thank you, ma'am. Go about your day.
Almost all samples of sea salt that you can buy in supermarkets are contaminated by microplastics from all the crap in the ocean. And many of the pink Himalayan salt are actually dyed so that people think they are getting healthy minerals.
Yes, which is why I never buy fucking pink Himalayan salt.
Dissolve
Absolutely
a
not.
tablespoon of pink salt in a little bit of water and see if it turns pink even a tiny little bit. If it does, you've been had.
And who's gonna spend the money to see? Who's gonna spend the money to see if their pink Himalayan sea salt is fake or not? Not I. I'll just keep buying my regular Morton salt.
When a nurse gives you an IV, they aren't leaving the metal needle inside your arm. They actually remove that and only a soft plastic tube remains, so you don't need to keep your arm that straight. Relax. Edit. Holy shit. Okay, I'll keep it short and sweet. I am not a doctor.
Okay.
I just listened to Sawbones podcast, most recent episode, and found out this fact myself. Ro, thank you so much for the comment points. I don't know what to do now. I'm also really happy my most upvoted comment is about something kinda smart and not
Bask in it.
Thank you, Sydney McElroy. MD. Needle pierces into the vein, then guides the catheter as the nurse slides the catheter into the vein. Metal needle is removed. Still best not to move or agitate area where IV is placed to avoid obstructing the flow through the catheter.
Makes sense.
If you touch a baby bird, the mother will not reject it. I don't even know who came up with it.
Wait, what?
Probably a parent who didn't want to.
Wait, so I could have been saved all the little baby birds and stuff that I found? There was only one baby bird, but I found it, and my mom was like, no, you can't help it because the mom won't go near it. And so then I left it there, but I should have picked him up. I could have saved him. I'm sad.
The wild animal in the house. World Wide Web contains fewer syllables than its intended short form, www, thus making the shorter version longer to say. Edit. Grammar. I just say dot.
Who? Dot. Who says that? Dot. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I feel it.
There's a D in fridge but not in refrigerator. Yes. It really bothers me. Who's to say you can't put the D in the refrigerator? You know that old statistic that the average person eats 3 spiders in their sleep each year? That was an intentionally made up statistic by a journalist to elicit the point that people will believe any statistic the media will tell.
Well, I'm gonna end this video on that because I don't like thinking about spiders in my mouth, whether it's factual or not. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Other than that, peace out, Ho Biscuits. It's Skittin' Lit.